Heyo, my name is Chupacabra, and today we're going to be going over the play-by-play preview of California 1. This is our final play-by-play video for the first 5 races of the NAFCAR season, so hit that subscribe button because over the next couple days I'll be previewing a next chunk of brand new tracks. Alrighty, so this race will take about 14 minutes, so we're going to jump right into the NAFCAR track facts. The name of this race is California 1, and the reason why it's named California 1 was because when I first went through that little area trying to build the track, it reminded me a lot of me driving through California. What is it, State Highway 1? Not from California, but I've spent a little bit of time there for various other reasons, and some of the driving scenes are just absolutely gorgeous. So when I made this track, that was the first thing that came to my mind. We have 3 share codes associated with the event, and at the end of these NASCAR track facts, we'll circle around and discuss these briefly. The track style is a circuit, and we'll complete 2 laps on it. The starting location is Chihuahua Circuit, and the entire course length is 12.8 miles. We run 2 laps around this large circuit, and the scheduled race distance is 25.6 miles. Tire wear is rated a 5 out of 6, which means you should be ending this race with anywhere between 83.5 and 99.9% of your tires gone. This racetrack is all about managing tire degradation, and we'll talk a lot about this throughout the course of this play-by-play. Damage wear is rated a 1 out of 5, which means you should accrue no natural damage throughout the course of the event. AI bots come in at a 5 out of 5, which means they handle this track pretty perfectly. This track will take you about 14 minutes to complete. Finally, with all these things in consideration, we give this a difficulty rating, and this track comes in at a 4 out of 5. If you're playing without simulation damage on, I would say the difficulty is about a 3 out of 5. It's really not that hard of a track. It should be a little challenging for people, but with how you need to conserve your tires, it really skyrockets how tough this track actually is. The only thing that really prevents it from being a 5 out of 5 is we have 2 or 3 tracks that actually come in on the 5 out of 5 scale, and this track isn't quite as hard as those comparatively. Alrighty, let's jump right into the share codes. For this track, it doesn't matter whether you have damage on or off. What matters is if you're an S1 GT car or any other car class or car type. If you're using an S1 GT, go ahead and use that share code in brackets. This is the official NAFCAR race that we use throughout the NAFCAR schedule, and this is what we will be play-by-playing today. If you're using any other car class or type, go ahead and use the other 2 events. The events in stars is the full-length event, whereas the share code in # is just a 1-lap sampler. Should take about 7 minutes compared to the 14 of a full-length event. Alrighty, let's jump straight into the play-by-play. Alrighty, so this is a pretty large track. We're talking about 12.8 miles. We're going to go about 25.6 miles. So managing your tire wear is the only way you could finish this race without having 100% tires. What happens if you have 100% tires? You literally cannot race the car. It's really bad. So, something very unique to this track. Notice how I'm not slamming the gas pedal. You do not want to squeal your tires. If you squeal your tires at the start, you're going to put heat in them, heat that you won't be able to get back out. This track doesn't offer a lot of opportunity to cool your tires. Once they get to a certain temperature, they'll hang around there. And for every mistake you make, you're going to make it worse. So, we have the intro here. Look how slow I'm going, and look how far ahead the bots are. I play on ultimate bots, so these bots really aren't that bad. Whereas I lose tire wear, they will not. So even though I am taking it slow a little bit, I'm not worried because once I get to a point where I know my tires will make it to the end, I'm just going to blow right by them. This track is very unique. You have to almost run this race backwards, as if you were in a real life, motorsport fuel mileage race. You count backwards, right? So there's 50 laps left and you have only 45 laps worth of fuel, so you save your 5 laps, and once you can make it to the end, you go as hard as you can. Same principle is with the tires. If I completely burn out my tires going through this first little bit of the race, I am going to reach 100% and about halfway through, and I'm not going to be able to finish the race basically at all. Because like I said, once you hit 100%, it's really, really hard. To kind of bring in the Twin Bridges real fast, that track, it was okay to have 60-70% tire wear. It really wasn't that noticeable. On this track, 60 or 70% tire wear is huge. It really makes the car not go where you want it to. It's very hard to cool down your tires. A lot of times when you're doing a NAFCAR race, or really any race, if you go in a straight line and you don't abuse your tires, your temperatures will start dropping to a good temperature. The lower your tire temperature, the better you're going to be able to save them for the long run. Around this turn here. Now look how far behind I am. I'm still in conservation mode. At the end of this video, we're going to have like a small bonus section. I'm going to try to make it really quick. And I want to show you the difference between saving your tires and not saving your tires. It's a huge difference. You see the bots are still up there. It's not my time yet. Now, obviously, you know, if you're not playing with simulation damage on, then you don't have to worry about any of this. You know, you could race this track as hard or as fast as you want, slide around, it doesn't matter. But remember, in the NAFCAR League, and, you know, if someday you want to compete, you need to be able to manage this challenge. Around here, small little S curve. Now, something I want to point out, the NAFCAR League builds on itself, right? So if you've watched any of my other videos or done any of my other tracks, you'll notice that this looks familiar. This is the same section used in the Chupacabra 500, the very first race of the season. Races within the schedule overlap, and over time, you'll learn what you can do with what car on the same track in different styles and circumstances, but you're building that muscle memory. So now you've raced this part of the track 3 or 4 times on 3 or 4 different races. Now when we get to the season finale, when it's the Chupacabra 500 again, you're going to have 4 races of knowledge built up on this road and going in both directions. When you race, I think it's really important to learn both directions of the track, right? So the Chupacabra 500, we'll take that for example. You know, run it backwards. You'll learn a lot more about the Chupacabra 500 if you go in just free play mode and you just race it backwards. Alrighty, you can see my tires are already yellow. We're at 28%. As you can see, I'm starting to pass some bots. Oh, I'm going to completely miss that turn. Took some damage, but with how well my tires preserved, I decided to keep this video and actually use this for the play-by-play. And as you can see, a little bit of damage really isn't going to bother you. This is another area. We will feature this section going in the opposite direction as the regular season finale, and that's a pretty fun track. And a little spoiler alert, it's a city race. And we'll get more into that at some point. Trying to get around the car here. Hard brake. The next lap, we're going to actually talk more about the track. Kind of hard to talk about this track if you're really conserving through the first half of it. Hard turn. This part might look familiar to you. Actually, the first part and this part are basically full Forza Horizon 5 tracks. This track's kind of a combination of that. This is a really tough area. I would say this area here is where you will build the most heat in your tires. It's not that fast, and you're kind of not able to bring those temperatures back down. Like this section here, if you notice my tire temperature is falling down, that's it. And you're going to notice as I continue going through these turns, my tire temperature is going to probably go back up. As you can see, my braking's changed a little bit too. In the very beginning, I was very cautious. Braking is a way you can degrade your tires. If you slam on your brakes and squeal your tires, you're going to put more heat in them. And if you put more heat in them, they're going to wear out faster. We're coming back up on the start-finish line. This is just one lap. Like I said, it's a 14-minute race. We're only about 7 minutes in. Halfway through, my tires are about 42% for my front tires. Now, the second lap, as your tires degrade, they begin to actually degrade faster. So once we get to 83%, that jump to 83 to 100 is a lot quicker than saying going from 30 to 50. Come around here, notice I'm taking it way faster. You still kind of got to conserve a little bit, right? So you really can't go full blast just yet, because what if you get into an instance where you slide around the turn and you put, 275 degree worth of temperature in your tire? That's going to quickly kill what remaining you have left. Hard turn. Nice downhill section. It's a good spot to let your tires cool off. You notice how my one tire is almost 250, and my other one kind of stayed at 240. Hard brake. This is a spot where it's really tough. If you slam on the brake too hard, you'll just go straight. Car does not turn, especially when your tires are 50% worn. So the first lap, I was very ginger about keeping the heat out of my tires. You notice this lap, now that I know I can make it to the end, a little more bullish. Hard left-hand turn. Got a little squeak in my tire. Take it easy. The first lap, you can go through there a lot faster than you can now. Having half your tires gone completely changes how this track races between the first lap and the second lap. Great, my tires are about 190, just trying to keep it cool. Come through here. This is kind of a tough turn. If you're not really paying attention, you'll slide the back and you'll end up just kind of clipping those trees. I've done it a few times. My tire's cool. Brake, brake, brake. Hairpin. Sliding my tires again. It's alright, I think I'll make it to the end. About 60% tire wear. Braking. Kind of take it easy. It's important to hit those turns perfectly. Look how I'm hugging the line. Kind of want to always hug the turn that you're turning in. So if you're turning to the right there, I hug that right line. Turning to the left, I try to hug that left line. And that's just good driving tips. A lot of people, what they do is they kind of go in there as fast as they can, and usually in a normal Forza Horizon event, there's a wall there, and then you can end up wall riding. You can't do that in the NAFCAR League. As you can see, I purposely build these tracks without walls. So it's very punishing if you do not do it the way you're supposed to. I would say in a lot of ways even more punishing than hitting a wall. Hug the line. Just taking it easy. This is another kind of tough area with worn tires, and I've done it, there's been races where I obviously manage my tires wrong, and then when you get to about here, you have 100% of your tires used. If you're going through that area, really with any more than I would say 75% tire wear, you're probably going to hit one of those bridge posts. Hugging the line. Be a little tough to control. Not turning the way it wants to. Hard left-hander. Hard to stick that turn. So we're at 75% tire wear, and we're just getting to the castle area. So we're going to go on that castle road now, and we're at 75%. What I'm going to show you at the end, I believe, not conserving my tire wear, I believe I reached 100% coming through here. And once I ended up finishing last, because once you, especially during like unbeatable bots, once you reach 100%, they just go by you. And I know a lot of people have that problem with the Goliath. They run with simulation damage on running the Goliath, and then their car's tires are gone 75% through the event, and it doesn't matter what mode you play on, the bots obviously don't care about that, and they just blow right by you. I read that a lot. And go uphill. So we're going to get to a part of the track where it is critical that you take it easy, because our tires are about to glow red, which means we've reached 83.5% tire wear. And once you hit that, that's basically your warning. Like, hey, you're not going to be able to turn this car really soon. And if you kind of come in here too fast and you're not able to stick these turns, you're just going to fall off a cliff. And I've done that a lot of times. Usually right here. So take it easy. Look how hard it is to turn. We're not even at 100%. Come down through here. Try to cool my tires down before these turns. Notice how fast I'm losing tire now. 86. About to be 86.5. 87. We've lost that in, I don't know, probably 3 seconds? Look at my back tires. I'm at 69. Almost 70, So when you reach the red, or 83.5%, the amount of time it takes to get to 100 is a lot shorter. As you can see, I'm already at 90. This will be the final turn. Stay on the road. And that is California 1. Before we conclude this play-by-play, I'm going to have a small bonus section here. What I did was I raced this race twice. The first time is with the footage that you saw. This is me using tire conservation. The second race, which I have recorded, maybe I'll do like a bonus video one of these days if I get the time. The second race, I raced it as if I didn't have simulation damage on. So I really wasn't taking care of my tires at all. I was kind of sliding here and there, just kind of going as hard as I could as if the damage was off. I'm going to show you two images. The first image is from the race that you just saw. The second image is from that non-conservation tire race. In the corner is a map indicating where I was when I reached each tire threshold. The solid dots are the position I was in when I was doing the first conservation race. And the hollow is where I was in the second non-conservation race. As you can see, there's huge disparity between the two. On my tire conservation race, I was about halfway done with lap 1 before I reached the yellow marker, which was about 16% tire wear. I was already on lap 2 when I reached 50% tire wear. When I reached 83.5% tire wear, I was actually almost done with the race. I had, let's say, 20% of the race to go at this point. And finally, I was below 100 before I reached the finish line. Now, let's look at race 2, the race that I didn't conserve any tires. About a quarter of the way into the first lap, my tires were already at 16% tire loss. When I reached 50% tire wear, I was about 20% left of the first lap. I reached 83.3% tire wear just over halfway through the final lap. And finally, as I was driving by the castle, my tires reached 100%, and it was almost impossible to drive. At this point, I had probably about 35% of the race still to go, and I could barely control the car. And finally, looking at the map, you can see how the more wear you have on your tires, once you get to that 83.5% mark that we were talking about earlier, your tire wear increases at an exponential rate. Look how much time it went from going 16-ish% to 50% versus 83.5% and 100%. So, at the end of the day, when you're racing this track, especially if, like I said, you want to compete in the NAFCAR League, these are the challenges that you need to overcome. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I think this video is long enough. Thank you so much for your support. Have a great evening, night, morning, or day.